Social media advice for entrepreneurs over 50. Hello there, I'm Alex from GoSo.io, and today's video is going to be just a short one talking about, well, giving some advice to entrepreneurs on social media who are over 50 years old. Social media has proven to be a game changer within the business world. But just a few years back, business owners and entrepreneurs relied on newspapers and the technologies of the time, television and radio, in order to advertise their businesses. So they may be under the risk of being left behind. However, with the advancements in technology, especially the rise in internet and giving birth to all these different social media platforms that we know and love and use on a daily basis, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, WhatsApp, the list goes on and on and on. These social media sites actually unite people and from a business perspective, give your product or your brand the opportunity to be seen by an indefinite amount of people. But the scary thing is, for those entrepreneurs that are over 50 or those that are used to the old methods from 10, 15 years ago, just radio, television ads, newspaper ads, and word of mouth, you may be feeling that you could be left behind. How people market and create businesses and brand awareness nowadays has been completely transformed by the birth of these social media platforms. And you may feel like you're being left behind, as I just said, but in actual fact, it's not too difficult, and here is just some advice for those entrepreneurs over 50 on what you can do to really get social media and social media marketing under your belt. While social media is largely associated with youthful and young entrepreneurs, people like Ginny Corbett are actually changing that narrative. She's 56 years old and is also the founder of Salud Juicery, which has roughly around 9,000 Instagram followers as of today. But as she said, it doesn't come easy. It's not just given to her. You really do have to put an adequate amount of effort into being successful on social media. She says that she's spent thousands of hours and even hired professional photographers in order to make her content and her clout be worthwhile. Now, Corbett, a midlife entrepreneur, believes that old-fashioned marketing styles and advertising styles, such as using the papers and whatnot, they actually do have their limitations. Whereas if you now look at what is happening on social media, you have the potential and the opportunity to get your brand and your products seen by a plethora of people, by an infinite amount of people. You have the opportunity to be seen by everyone who has these platforms. Here's some free services that entrepreneurs can benefit from on social media. Social media platforms present entrepreneurs with numerous benefits. For example, you can promote your brand awareness by using social media pages like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, among many others, for free. The good thing about social media is that you can get millions of people behind you within a very short time period. You can even resort to influencer marketing in order to get better results for your business. However, having a social media account and using a social media account as an effective marketing tool are two very different things. Now, you can't just create this Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram account and expect it just to blow up in seconds. You have to put a bit of bloody work into it. But how, you're asking? You have to come up with a strategy in order to grow your number of followers first. But how do you do that? Now, this is going to sound very cliche. You need to consistently post relevant and interesting content. Another way of doing this is a little bit cheating, but you're paying for it. Social media ads. The reason why many entrepreneurs have embraced social media is the ability of accessing a larger audience and promoting your brand's awareness. That's why it's difficult to ignore the concept of a social media campaign. Now, different social media platforms will charge a small fee in order for you to place your ads. The best thing you can do is identify which platform to use and where your target audience is based in those, you know. So you probably, if you're aiming for the younger people, you go for TikTok. If you're aiming for the older people, you use Facebook. If you're anyone born between the 90s to the early 2000s, you'll be looking at Instagram most likely. And again, if not, just get in contact with influencers. Influencer marketing never harms anyone. So now, two major tips that you need to understand if you're using a social media strategy. The first one, number one, is to always have thick skin. Remember, you're using the internet, and the internet is known for trolls and people who just don't have an inch or a smidge of kindness to give in reviewing your content or your business sometimes. But, you know, defend yourself at some point, but don't let it affect you. Don't let it affect you. Don't let it get under your skin. And the second piece of advice is that essentially what works for you today may not work for you tomorrow. So there are so many changes in the algorithms and whatnot, and changes in society also happening on such a fast basis that essentially you may end up just having to adapt constantly to what is actually happening on the platform and in life. Like going back to Corbett, who I spoke about earlier, when she started off with her Facebook page, she worked endlessly to grow her account's following, and she did so only to be, you know, pushed aside by Facebook themselves when they changed their rules. So just bear those two things in mind. And lastly, how do you know if your social media strategy is actually working? Likes, comments, clicks, impressions, they're all engagement, you know, they're all indications of how well or how many people are seeing the product of your campaign. Also actual sales, and if you're doubting where you can see this, all of the social media sites have insights. You know, you can actually see the analysis of what is actually going on there. So if all of those are quite high, then your engagement's high and your sales are high, then it's working, isn't it? Don't lose hope if you're an entrepreneur over the age of 50. You can be exactly like Ginny Corbett and you can just work your way up. You're also learning something new, so don't be scared by it. Just get involved, keep that skin thick and keep adapting. If you've got any questions or queries, come and visit us at goso.io and just get in contact with us on there if you just want some advice. If not, just leave a comment below and we will get back to you. And remember to subscribe, press that red button, and also like the video. That would be lovely if you could do that too. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Alex from GoSo, and see you later.